when one is dealing with interruptions in a meeting, if I'm a little more hesitant to just speak up my thoughts, if I have teammates who are more extroverted or talkative and just get in there and I can't even find my space to talk. One of the things, again, if I'm using the DES script, I describe the behavior to my teammates. So I might say, and I have to be very specific, not general. I have to use observable behaviors, be factual about it. Try not to use red flag words like, you never let me in. But say something like, when I'm trying to get into the conversation and I get interrupted, that's an observable behavior in terms of the interruption. Or several times in meetings, I've signaled like this, and the conversation just continues. Again, that's a specific behavior that somebody can observe. Yes, that did happen. So, and I'm being very specific. I'm talking about one behavior. I'm not trying to dump a whole bunch of stuff on somebody, just this one thing. Now, E, how do I express my feelings? If I start with, you are a problem for me, or you always interrupt me, or you're so disrespectful, or any of that kind of judgmental you statement, I've lost it. If instead I own the feeling and I say, I feel frustrated, or I really feel angry sometimes, or whatever the genuine feeling is, being really authentic about my feeling, and I put that out. So the statement altogether would be, when I'm trying to finish a thought and you interrupt me, or when I'm trying to get into the conversation and you're talking right over me, I feel really frustrated. That is expressing my feeling. I'm owning it. I can also say a because, if there is one, because I'm trying so hard to participate. I really want to be a part of the team's decision. So I can say something like that too. And that D, describe the behavior, and the E, express my feeling, are the two most important parts of this. And what I'd like to say is sometimes people are going to say, oh, you're too sensitive. Just say what you have to say. The most important part of this technique is to persist. So I can say back to that person, well, maybe you think I am too sensitive, but what I want you to hear from me is that I feel frustrated when you don't give me the opportunity. The critical part of this, I've found, is that we need to persist, not let whatever the other person says interrupt our flow of thought or get us off track, but simply just acknowledge whatever they say and go back to our message, which is, when you interrupt me, I feel frustrated. Because every one of us as a human being has the right to have our feelings acknowledged. And that's one of the points I really want to emphasize in all of this. We have to make allowances for our behaviors. We can't always get our way in terms of our behaviors, but we have a right to our feelings. And part of what I think connects us in teamwork is if we're willing to be vulnerable with each other and to share what the feeling is behind whatever's happened. That's where the human connection takes place. And then finally, in terms of this framework of DES, if I know what I want, I can specify. So I can say to you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd slow down the conversation so that I have time to get in. Or I can say, I will try to give a signal like this when I want to get in, or that I'm not finished with my thought, and I'd really appreciate it if you let me finish. On the other hand, if I'm not sure what I want, I can just say to you, could we talk more about this and see if we can come up with some way to problem solve it?